The Garden Report is powered by Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network.
Hey, Bobby Manning here. Welcome to another Garden Report after the Celtics beat the Cavs in Game 3 of this Eastern Conference semifinals matchup. Josue, Pavon, Dalzell here again.
No, Bobby, that wasn't one of your strongest hays. I'm going to be honest.
It was subdued. It was subdued.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get it. We've landed in
Cleveland. It was a 1:30 a.m. Hey.
Yeah, we landed in Cleveland this morning exactly. Look what time
Been
it
up
is.
for 36 hours.
That's just something I noticed, But hey, it's been a productive night.
We're fighting through, just like the Celtics tonight. Not their best night,
for real.
but how's that?
Much better.
Jaylen Brown pushing them halftime. He's talking to them. He's in their ears. He's saying rebound. He's saying defend. And it continues from this commentary yet after Game 2 that it was unacceptable, especially the defensive side of the ball that they played there. I saw that as Jaylen Brown becoming this team's vocal leader, the guy who's just going to speak out and kind of set the tone vocally for them.
I think he has been all year. I mean, it's hard to know because I think leadership comes in so many forms, and we see a snippet of it. We see like what they say in the post-game pressers, and we see maybe snippets of the mic'd on segments on ESPN, but all year he's been the one that's talked about himself being a leader. I think he's named that many times. I think that's how he wants to be perceived, and certainly he's the one that takes the most accountability and is the most kind of vocally disappointed, frustrated, calling things out after a loss. And that's a leadership style I'll maintain. I don't think it's the only leadership style, but I think certainly he's positioned himself as the team's leader.
Yeah,
His team needs that Josue too. Someone has to do it.
I think he has a distinct voice. I do think he's one of the leaders in that locker room, and I think this year he's taken it to another level. People will talk about the contract extension, people talk about the pressure, but he's coasted through it with just working hard, really just evolving as a defender. I think that's a huge part of his game this year. That's reached new heights. And I love what he's had to say about Joe Mazzulla and vice versa. I think those two have really connected in a way that's kind of let Jaylen just be himself. I always say this year was great because of not only the contract, but his role, I think, is much more defined. People talk about the pressure that comes with that contract, but I look at it as twofold. It's also a level of trust from the organization.
And it's kind of freeing too.
Yeah,
in a sense.
absolutely.
Like you're not playing for that contract anymore.
Right,
and
this is my home. Not to say that Jaylen was thinking, these guys are going to trade me, but it's just that insurance. It's that commitment, that recommitment rather, that I think really meant a lot to Jaylen, and just. Not that he was holding back, but it just really, we got to see really who he is, and doing the dunk contest and how every dunk was dedicated with a dedication or symbol, or representation of his life or his personality. I love all of that because Jaylen's not afraid to be himself. And I don't think he's never hesitated since first entering the league, but he's sort of like, it's been like he's blossomed little by little, right? Like year after year.
You sound like a proud father.
I mean, I just look back at Jaylen's career and I think about like the Kyrie years, how he was injured, he came back, he lost his starting spot, and it was like, oh, Hayward's ready to go now. So Jaylen, you got to take a step back. And Jaylen's like, well, wait a minute, but I've been consistent. And then he just like continued to work. He didn't get frustrated, he didn't pout or whatever. And I just think, it speaks a lot of who he is, as a person, and of course as a basketball player, he gets better year after year.
Yeah, a great one-liner here too after the game about the message he sent to the team coming into tonight.
I'm just trying to take all of it. I think that's what we need. I think we just need everybody to be on the same page and everybody to come out with the right effort, and that's 85% of the battle right there. We come out, we play hard, and we're on the same page, and the rest will take care of itself. We got enough talent in the locker room to beat teams, but if we're not on the same page and we're not playing hard, those are when we get ourselves in trouble. So making sure before the game we film this shit around, talking to everybody, touching everybody, letting everybody know, like, hey, we're not here to play around. Like, we didn't come to Cleveland for the weather. So let's go.
Thank you, Jaylen. Thanks, Jaylen.
So it wasn't Joakim Noah, but it was a good one on Cleveland. This is great stuff. I love all the vocal stuff. I love the
weather
leadership.
hasn't been great either, but yeah.
Oh, I think that's exactly what he was talking about. It was brutal. I think all that stuff's great, but his play is also there right now. He's leading the offense and scoring a lot of ways. We talked in our last video about Tatum, what's his job, what's he need to do for this team. I think it's very clear with Jaylen. It's funny because we had more questions about him coming into the year about what his role would be. It's the defense, it's the scoring, it's that transition attack. And that's, I think, one of the defining differences in this series so far is even in a game like this tonight, there wasn't a lot of transition play, Jaylen just stole it. Like even if guys were back and set, he would just force his way through them. There were 3 great transition buckets from him in this game. I feel like made a big difference. So his play was there too, as well as the vocal side of things. And I think that needs to be the case. You can't just be the guy barking at everyone's ears about what they need to do if you're not bringing it to him. And he's bringing it every night.
Yeah, I mean, I loved everything he did offensively tonight. You know, finishing 13 of 17 is really difficult to do in the NBA. You know, to not ever stray to the point where you're taking shots that are heat check shots, that are bad shots.
He's great at that too.
Yeah, and Joe talked about
Joe
this post game. And Joe's mentioned that a couple times this year. But the idea that even if he's hit, 7 consecutive points, he's still making the right play. And we saw that tonight. I think he was really feeling it in the second half. Drove to the basket. We had a better angle today than where I usually sit, where you could really see the rim reads. And he threw a beautiful pass to Derek White for an open 3-pointer who hadn't really been shooting well, right? And so that trust doesn't waver. He's still making the right play, still making the right pass. I thought this was one of the most impressive games we've seen from him in a really long time, and he's had a really good season. Just stood out in so many ways.
Big game from Jaylen Brown tonight. Definitely worth mentioning. We talked about Jason Tatum as well after this one, so go check that out. And of course, check out our great sponsors, Prize Picks. Jaylen's a great pick on Prize Picks any given night.
He's another one.
Usually some lower numbers for him too, so go check that out. Get a 100% deposit match up to $100 at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Check out PXG, our great golf and leisure partner, polos, tees, hats, whatever you need for the golf course this summer, they got it. And they got a great discount when you use our code GardenReport. That's pxg.com. Garden Report, code over there. And of course, Game Time, Game 4 coming up in just a day. Go to the Game Time app, get a discount. $20 on your first purchase over there. Terms apply. Go download the Game Time app. Great deals right up until even after game time. He's Josue Pavon. She's Noah Dalzell. Great night for Jaylen Brown. Check out all his commentary on the game. And everybody else is over on CLNS Media and our continued coverage here from Cleveland. We're doing this again in just another night on Celtics All Access. Subscribe there. Josue, Noah, Bobby, that's it for tonight. Celtics win. Good night.
What's going on, everyone? It's Josue Pavon here. If you made it this far, that means you really enjoyed this video. Make sure you follow all of our social media platforms at Celtics CLNS, and of course, follow us here on YouTube.